Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. Not sure if you saw the last video, but we took the Pontiac 350 out of my 68 LeMans. And now it's time to get it cleaned up. Get all that grease and grime and oil and sludge that's been on there for 50 plus years. And then tear it down a little bit and start ordering some new parts. So let's get to it. Oh, and fellas, if you ask your wife or significant other if you can buy that expensive car part and she says, okay, go ahead and buy the car part, but expect her to spend the equivalent amount the next day in shoes. If she says, fine, do not, under any circumstances, buy that car part. In fact, you might want to just sell the whole car completely. Okay, I'm going to give the gunk foamy engine cleaner a try. If that doesn't work, then I think I might go with the oven cleaner. I also picked up a Easy Off non-scented, which I think is actually less damaging to some parts. I'm going to give that a try. The only problem is you got to leave that set for like an hour and 15 minutes, but see what this does first, and hopefully she'll come clean. I picked up a scrub brush too, so I can get into some of those nasty parts. And hopefully she cleans up well. Gonna be a lot of work to do. Let's take a look at what the gunk did. Basically, I sprayed the gunk on here. I scraped and scraped and scraped. Got as much of the crap off of there as I could. There's still some, you can see it's back in there. There's still some heavy crap in there. But it looks a lot better than it did. So what I was going to do is try to use the oven cleaner. See how well that worked. See, got it cleaned up fairly well, but at least the heavy stuff. But I want to see if the oven cleaner does anything different, does it any better. So basically this is the fume-free kind. I know some have said that the heavy-duty stuff works a bit better, but I'm going to try this, spray it on, let it set for an hour, and see if this does anything better than the gunk. All right, let that set for an hour, see what it does. So what I did was do the oven cleaner. I rinsed it all off and dried it as well as I could. And it is still kind of crappy. But this is 50 plus years of just baked on crap. In fact, you can almost make out the number on that engine in the back. But yeah, I mean, it's going to take some work to keep cleaning this up. It got a lot of the junk off, but there's still so much. The cool thing is for the first time you can see some of the paint color. So I think what I'm going to do is take a lot of these things off, make some room, really get in there and clean where I can, and then hopefully I should be able to paint this. Now the tricky thing for me is I need to get this engine back to my other garage. This is sort of my main garage attached to my house where I've always had the Pontiac living, but I kind of want to do the cleaning and do the work back in my other garage, which is around the corner. Back behind my house, I've got another garage that I've added, and this is pretty much going to be the home of the LeMans. Once it's running and driving, I'll be able to park it in here, do any work in here, and should be good to go just to bring it out to do anything where I need to jack it up. but I want to get the engine back here. So what I'm going to do is put it in the back of the truck, drive the truck back here, and hopefully no problems getting that in there. Alright, that's about as far as I can go. And of course now the coolant that was in there is just now pouring out. Got to scoot it out as far as I can on the tailgate. Yeah, I just need to attach the engine stand. I'm going to bring it down though. Drop it down, get it off, get it lined up a little better. That's not gonna happen. Alright, this is as good as I can get it. I'll get the engine stand part mounted on the back. Now we just gotta let her down. Perfect. Alright, got it on the engine stand. Time to start tearing her down. I took off the oil filter, drained what little bit was in there. I think I wasn't going to take the heads off, but I think now that I've got it out, I'm going to take the heads off, take a look at everything, make sure it's all good, and do new head gaskets, new ARP bolts in the heads, clean it up a little bit if I have to, if I can. Take a look at the cylinder walls. Didn't want to do that, but while I'm here, I might as well. I know I could probably do a lot of other things too with the cam and all that, but for right now, I just want to be able to take this timing, or take off the water pump and then the timing chain cover. I want to replace the water pump, the timing chain, and the balancer. And I think I'm going to see if I can do some of the reproduction ram air exhaust manifolds. I don't want to mess with headers. Well, I don't know. Headers actually might be cheaper because I can probably find a used set. It's just that the flow restriction on these I've just heard is just terrible, the stock ones. The nice thing about headers for the Pontiac is that they're down here, not above, where it makes it harder to change out the spark plugs. So maybe I can get by with the headers. We'll see. But then once I've got the timing chain and everything off, I can take the oil pan off, get this down, clean it out, check up the pickup, clean that out, and go from there. So yeah, let's start taking this thing apart. All right, so it looks like they are all the same, except this one over here on the far left is the longest bolt. Ah. Yeah, there's my water pump. It's a bit nasty. But yeah, here's the backing plate. And that is tightly sealed to the timing chain cover. Alright, so I managed to get the little backing plate in there for the water pump off. Looks like it's still in decent shape. They just used a lot of RTV. My biggest problem is going to be getting off the balancer. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to. I can't get this to turn. It just turns the engine. Alright, got our exhaust manifolds off. So I did the old screwdriver in the back of the engine and managed to get this loose. So yay me. I was really kind of worried. I heard there are tools that you can use to lock the flex plate down, and there are you know, vice grips you can put on there and all of that, but I just figured I'd try the old screwdriver in the hole, and it worked well. So now I just need to get a puller and pull the balancer off, and we should be good to go. Well, I was all set to use my balance puller, and then I just pulled on it and it came off. So yeah, that's done. Good, I didn't have to put any pressure on the crank. Alright, getting the oil pan off. Alright, that should be all the bolts. Oh, no, there's one more. There we go. You know what? This does not look too bad. I know I don't have a ton of light down in here, but I was expecting bit more sludge. It's pretty heavily coated here, but I'm not seeing too many shiny bits. There's a little bit of some pieces floating around. Looks like there might be a little bit of metal floating around in there, but overall I was expecting a lot worse. And on closer inspection, this is the sludge I was worried about. This is 56 years of oil that's been sitting, and then it sat for 23 years. And this crud is what I was worried about getting picked up. I mean, I can feel just a lot of crud in here. It's probably never been off in the life of the car. And this is what the concern was. So yeah, we'll get this all cleaned up. Next, we're going to attack this timing chain car. I think this one. Yeah, you can see this timing chain is really loose. It's not as bad on this side, but this side is just floppy. So yeah, you can see this timing chain is pretty loose. So glad I'm doing this. Definitely needed to be done, and it does look to be original, I think. Can't really tell, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this needed to go away. Alright, so that pretty much has everything off that I wanted to take off. I still need to take off this motor mount and this side, and get her cleaned up the rest of the way. Probably take the windage tray off and clean that up and clean up the pickup. But yeah, for the most part, got a lot off of here that I wanted to get off, and doesn't look too terribly bad. I mean, you know, there's some rust in here, but it's not, there's nothing, that doesn't look like anything's been rotted away. This bolt looks a bit rusty, but we can clean that up a little bit. Yeah, pretty much ready to go. Time to start ordering some parts. All right, so that's gonna do it. Got it all wrapped up. Got a lot of cleaning to do, of course. I didn't see how bad it was until I got those exhaust manifolds off. Got some parts to order. I need that one-piece oil pan gasket, timing chain, water pump, all that stuff. But thanks very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time on Rust Revival Garage.